So Microsoft offers so many assessments. Under cloud architecture classes, we observe some architectures as cloud adoption framework, well-architected framework. So different frameworks we observed. Okay? So here, let us see what are all assessments available. Let us see here. Microsoft, same way you can observe Azure, AWS, Google also. Okay, same types they will offer. Okay, so just see here before adopting any solution in the cloud. So first we need to start with assessment. Any solution, right? So here you can see so many solutions are there. Okay? So many solutions. So even if you are trying to use some cloud security, let us say, while adopting cloud, so we can analyze security issues also. Okay. Then first let us see migration. Okay. Migration, just see here. Here different migration tools assessments are there. So strategic migration assessment readiness tool. Right? So just open this tool. Just copy this link. Let me open with this link. So here I'm trying to open this assessment. Okay. So here you can see previous assessments. These are all previous assessments. Just ignore it. Okay. They're all previous assessments. You can ignore it. So if you want to start this assessment, just click Start Assessment. Strategic Migration Assessment and Readiness Tools. Before migrating, before start migration itself, first we need to understand all these strategy points. Let us see here. Business strategy, planning, migration plan, and technical skilling. Even as employee skills also important, right? Also landing zone, as well as governance management. These are all stages we need to understand. So let us observe these stages also. Before that, first let us see landing zone, just recap also. Previously we observed landing zone. Let us try to observe one more time. So landing zone, nothing but it refers, let me show you this here somewhere. Azure landing zone, or same way AWS landing zone is there, Google landing zone also there. Okay. Azure landing zone. Okay. Just see this picture. So whenever we are trying to set up any environment, so we need to discuss how authentication should happen. Okay, authentication. Also security. Just see this. Okay. Let me show you this picture here. So initial classes we observed different subscriptions we need for each area. Here you can see for management, one subscription. For identity, whoever is trying to access your cloud resources, we need to have some identity. We can maintain separate subscription, also connectivity. So let me show you this picture so that it will be clear for you. Let me create here. So here you can see. Let us take one picture. This is the environment. So here two types of users are there. Two types of teams, let us see. One is external users. They are trying to access your application. Other one, internal support teams. They will try to support your environment. So here requirements are different. Internal teams, nothing but support teams. These are all external users. Right? External users, you can say. So here, how to control these resources or how to control these users. These are all things there is a best practices template is there. Azure, AWS, Google. So we can start following the structure. Identity, connectivity, security. These are all things, best practices are there, which are defined by cloud vendors. You can start following the template. So that refers landing zone. So whatever best practices are there, it refers landing zone. Right? Example, if you use this landing zone, so we can start onboarding ready-made environment. But before that, we need to understand our requirement also. Right? So here you can see that. So these are all different subscriptions. Okay. Platform. Under platform, okay, this is the root group. Under that, multiple tenants. Platform. Okay. Management, subscription, identity subscription, connectivity. Same way, landing zone, different landing zones like different environments. Corporate environment, online environment, different environments. Let's say. Also, whatever servers or whatever components you're not using, we need to move to specific entity or decommission, we can say. Decommission generally will use the term. If you are not using any resource, just move to some other area because we need to have some track also, right? Decommissioning. Also, if you want to do some testing before going, planning to set up any solution, first we need to have some environment, right? Testing environment, sandbox. So here we can have some isolation between all these things. So for that, cloud vendor having some standard templates. Those are landing zones we are saying. Okay. So why we are discussing this? Just see here. Here we have some term, right? That's why we discussed landing zone also. Somewhere it is there. Landing zone. Okay. So now let us see this assessment. So while doing this assessment, let us go through the steps also, so that if you observe the steps, you will have some control related to migration steps. So migration, nothing but it's not like moving the service from one place to other place. Before that, we need to have some work. It includes even business people team work as well. If you combine all these things, then we'll get perfect migration output. Okay. Okay. Any questions, please? Okay. Now let us see. We are planning to migrate our application from one cloud to one place to other place. So just see here. Here you can say whether it is on-premises to cloud or cloud to cloud, let us say. Even cloud to cloud also we need to do. Sometimes they will try to move from one cloud to other cloud also, right? So let us say whether it is AWS or on-premises, you can imagine. Okay. AWS or on-prem. Okay. So here let us start this migration assessment. First, let us understand strategy. What is the business strategy first? Based on that, we need to implement our scenarios also. Okay. This is the assessment. Let us try to fill some answers also here. So has your company identified compelling business reason for moving to the cloud? Do we have any valid reason? So if you observe this PPT, you see here, these are all migration trigger points, right? Is there any valid point? Based on that, our steps will be there, migration steps. Okay. Let us say if you don't have any steps, let us say we don't, you need to capture as it is steps here. Whatever steps are there, you need to capture here so that they will give you some suggestions also. As for this assessment output, they will give you some suggestions also. Let us say, yes, let us say, okay, we have some reason. Reason is some data center expiry, let us say, or some other cyber security threat, frequent cyber security threats. We are planning to move our application from on-premises to cloud. Okay. And then next, do you have executive stakeholder sign off migration project, right? So do you have business sign off, right? Business team sign off, okay? Included committed funding. They're all business related activities, right? So we have limited or no executive commitment to migrate. Let us see, right? Has your company communicated to the with business reason for moving to the cloud, and has it been widely accepted? Let us say yes. If you say no, they will give you some recommendations. Let us say if you select no here, while completing this assessment, after completing this assessment, they will give you some suggestions. Okay, how to what is your approach, like next steps? They will give you some detailed steps also. Let's say no, no, no here. Okay, have you created business case that's based on your on-premises inventory and scope of migration project? Currently, we don't have business use case. Let us say we're not yet started. Right? We have no business use case, or we'll still working on from high level estimates. Okay, so these are all business strategy. These three questions related to business strategy. Now, planning stage. So, have you used uh, example Azure migrate and modernize? We didn't use it, right? Let us say no. So we didn't use this tool Azure migrate. Let us say no, so that they will give you some recommendations. What is your next step while using before using Azure migrate tool? Currently, we are using Azure migrate tool to migrate our servers. Azure migrate tool. So you can also use other tools as well. Now, so next. Okay. Have you identified the applications or workload that are you're migrate as part of this initiative? Yes, we identified some servers. We have some limited list also there. Okay. Okay. So do you have method to help you identify application owners and align them with migration plan? Okay, let us say no, so that whatever inputs it is giving, let us see. So have you determined the data center that you are migrating from, made necessary plans uh, for migrating from multiple data centers? Let us say no. Do you have data and workload classification strategy in place to identify sovereign data and workloads that use this data? Currently, we don't have classification. So that they will give you some classification strategy also. Let us say if you didn't select this option, right? Then they will give you some suggestion so that we can go through that suggestion. Okay. So let us say no. So next, migration plan. Okay. Do you have project timeline in which you have identified migration waves? Here, migration waves nothing but we'll try to move group of servers, same dependency server. Based on the dependency and criticality, we'll try to define multiple waves here. Wave nothing but group of servers. If you want to move some servers from, right, let us see here, three-tier architecture is there. Web servers, app servers, DB servers. So first we need to identify dependencies. Is there any network and other issues and other dependencies? First we need to identify. Based on that, we can create some group waves. Waves nothing but a group of servers. Okay. Now let us see. Okay. Do you have cloud data sovereignty and governance plan for performing encrypting data in transit and data in rest? Okay. So yes, we can say. So we need this encryption mechanism also. Data in transit, data in rest, at rest. Okay. Three modes are there, right? Data in transit, data at rest, data in use. We need to secure the data while doing transaction, while storing the data, while sharing the data from one place to other place. Right? These three stages we need. So do you need encryption in these stages? Yes, we need whatever migration you are doing, we need encryption also. Before doing migration, we should not get any security issues, right? That is the main agenda. Okay. And next, okay. Have you established process to determine when to migrate versus when to modernize workloads? Okay. Currently, we don't have plan, right? So when we need to go for migration, just see here. When we need to go for migration, when we need to go for modernization. Right? Let us say currently we don't have plan. We don't have any plan here. So due to this reason, just we trigger to migration, but we don't know how to implement modernization. Let us imagine. Okay, let us select it so that they will give you some suggestion also. Okay. Okay. Then, so have you identified solutions? So let us say if you are trying to here, let us say on-prem servers. If you are migrating the servers from workloads to on-prem to cloud. So have you identified what type of service you are going to adapt, whether it is IaaS, PaaS, SaaS? Okay. IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. Okay. Let us say no here. So have you identified tools for tracking the migration process? Okay. Currently, we don't have any tools. Let us select no here. If you select no, it will give you some suggestions. Okay. If you select yes, it assumes we have best process. Right? So have you identified when migration activities occur in the on the adoption timelines? No, let us say. Okay. Have you determined any specific workloads that you need to migrate that will remain on premises that might affect financial service level agreement? Okay. So these things are also very important, right? So let us say here we are trying to migrate some workloads, but some of the workloads we should not migrate because some dependencies are there. Right? Do you have any those type of requirements? Currently, let us say so no, so that it will give you some suggestion. Okay. Okay. So next, have you evaluated and documented business critical dates that you need to consider migration activities, like license renewal, lease expiration? Just now we discussed it, right? Why we are going for migration? This is also one of the factor. Data center contract expiring, or some license, application license. There all license will be there, right? So if you have those timelines, we can prioritize those items, right? Or in first way, we can move that items, right? So okay. No, let us say so that we will give you suggestions. Okay. Then have you identified your sovereignty requirement or part of regulatory framework that you need to be aware? So we didn't identify it. Okay. Next, resource skilling. So we need to have technical knowledge also. Whoever is trying to execute this migration. Okay. Okay. So let us see. So let us. Do you have people assigned to work on the migration, cloud migration team? Currently, we don't have. Okay. Have you explored options for migration partner? Right. We can also work with Azure also. So they will give you detailed plan as well. Right. But paid services there. Those are all paid services. Okay. So we can execute this migration with the help of our internal teams, or you can ask our vendor to migrate these workloads also. Okay. Next one, landing zone part. Okay, landing zone. So, sorry. Okay. So, have you set up and an Azure landing zone that designed to accept migrated workloads. Okay, so these type of workloads, sorry, landing zone. So whenever you're trying to host your applications in the cloud, first we need to have a landing zone. Then only we can move our applications, right? So just now we discussed it, right? In terms of connectivity, network, security, all these things should be addressed. Okay. So an ideal scenario here into use it. Okay. So currently we don't have, we didn't set up this Azure landing zone. No, let us see. Okay. And have you designed or implemented management groups subscriptions? So here this identity management also, access management also very important thing. So here we have some 10 services or 10 applications, let us say. So within your Azure, how many subscriptions you need? How many management groups you need? Let me go back to here. So here you can see subscription. This is our subscription, right? This is our subscription. And also you can see management groups also. Management groups. Okay. So have you designed this structure? Because why we need management groups? We need to simplify our activities, right? Identity and access management. Suppose if you are having multiple number of subscriptions, we can have this management groups. Okay. 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 Management groups and resource group or resource organization. Right? So currently we didn't design. Let us see. So in your landing zone, have you designed or implemented any supporting identity resources? Okay. So here you can see Entra ID. Previously we observed, right? Entra ID. Where it is there? Microsoft Entra ID. So we'll try to use Entra ID. If you observe here, management subscription. Under management subscription, what are all components are there? Just observe here. So here you can observe auditing, logging, also inventory tracking, policies, security. These are all things here you can see. Okay. Same way, identity subscription. So here we can place Entra ID. Just now we're discussing, right? So have you set up these scenarios? Entra ID. It means whoever is trying to access your resources, it should be authenticated, right? So do you have Entra ID? Nothing but Azure Active Directory. Okay. No, let us say so that it will give you some suggestions. In your landing zone, have you deployed shared network services, ingress, egress? Currently, we don't have any these services. Why we need this? For private network. If you want to secure our network, we can use these services. Right? Suppose if you are using Kubernetes and those things, here we can use this ingress concepts here. Okay, even a traditional environment also. Okay. Is your landing zone ready for migration in accordance with the Cloud Adoption Framework migration guidelines? Okay. So before doing this, we need to follow Cloud Adoption Framework guidelines, CAF. So we discussed these concepts under a separate section, right? CAF Azure. Cloud Adoption Framework. Okay. These are all stages we observed. These are all stages. Cloud Adoption Framework. Okay. So we need to have some assessment with Cloud Adoption Framework assessment also we need to complete. Okay. Okay. Next one, have you determined your region and made plans for migration to multiple regions for regions? Nothing but whenever you're trying to place your resources, which region you're going to use. Let us say if you are trying to use East ES, then do you need any high availability? If this region goes down, do you need any like a disaster recovery, not high availability, disaster recovery, let us say, right? So have you identified those things? Let us say no, so that it will give you. Does your landing zone architecture includes policy initiatives? Okay, their data residency and requirements. Okay, so have you addressed these type of issues? Like, let us say, whoever is India, they should store the transactions in the within India servers only. Example, if you observe our payment related things, right? Recently, they changed these things also. Whenever you're doing some payment transactions, the data will be should store in the India servers only. Right? Do you have those type of requirements? Right. So if you have that requirement, it should be included in the landing zone also. So for that, so what type of scenarios we need to use? Just see here, policies. Right? Architecture include policy initiatives. Okay. Here you can see under this landing zone, somewhere policies also there. Policies also there. Just see policy management, policy assignment. Okay. So these are all things here I can mention that. Okay. So security point, okay, which component you are targeting, whether it is identity and access management, app and data security. Let me select all these areas. Security manager. We need all these points. So we would like to secure while after migrating. So we need all these things. Okay. Do you have tool to place monitor cloud spend recommendations and cost saving options in Azure? Currently, we don't have, right? So let us, we need those scenarios also. Okay. How much amount you are spending for the resources. Okay. Also, we can see before moving to the cloud, it will give you some recommendation, detailed report also. While doing cloud migration, we'll observe that report also. Okay. So let us say here you are spending $10. Let us say some $100 per month. One server, let us say. One server. Some app server, let us say. If you migrate this server with Azure Cloud, how much amount you are saving? It will give you some report. Based on that, our business team, they will decide. Right? Cost also one of the factor, right? Cost also one of the factor. They will decide that. So we can understand those scenarios also. Okay. Okay. Do you have plan for using Azure policies to ensure? Just now we discussed it, right? Same thing. Okay. So we have plan. Currently, we okay. And do you have cloud governance framework? Currently, we don't have. We need that framework as well. Okay. Okay. Do you have dedicated method for organizing financial operations like managing cloud cost, like FinOps you can say? Okay. FinOps. They will observe whatever amount we are spending in the cloud. So whether we are getting output or not, or profit or not, they will try to analyze that. Do you have dedicated method? We don't have method. Let us see. Okay. Have you determined whether any regulatory compliance requirements might affect your migration plans? Okay. Like data residency, just now we observed, right? Some factors. Okay. So we didn't observe that. We didn't analyze that actually. We need to analyze. Okay. And security point, right? So are you planning to use Cloud Defender. Azure offering Cloud Defender, right? So let us say here we already having security team. Instead of that, are you planning to use Cloud Defender within the Azure? Cloud Defender within the Azure. Okay. Yes, let us say. Monitoring. So do you have plan for monitoring health performance for your application infrastructure and network? Okay. So for Defender, so just see here. Defender, here you can see this tool you can use. Same way for monitoring. Monitor. Okay. So here you can start using that. Okay. Then currently we don't have plan, but we need those things. Okay. Next one. For all workloads, have you established requirement baselines? Workload recovery, backup related in scenarios. Also, disaster recoveries. Okay. Do you have plan? Okay. Do you have a plan for workloads once you move these environments to our cloud? Right. No, currently we didn't set up any baseline, right? So let us see. Okay. Do you qualify as an agency? We don't have, right? International or something we don't have. View guidance. So here we filled all the questions here, assessment related questions. Let us see guidance. Based on that, we can redirect this issue to specific teams. If you find any issues here, you can redirect this issue to specific team. They will start addressing these issues first. Once it is done, then we can start implementing our migration. Currently, we are in assessment stage. Okay. So now let us see view guidance. Okay. Now you can see out of 10, so we received only 2 points. Our plan, migration plan. We don't have proper plan. Also, you can see each and every stage also you can see. 1 second, please. Now you can see all the stages you can see. Critical stage. So room to improve. Okay. So each section you can see. So what level of actions we need to take care. Okay. So we can export the CSV also. Okay. So here you can see that. Okay. So each stage here you can see the strategies also. Okay. So here they mentioned detailed documentation also. And if any issue, right here they mentioned detailed documentation. Okay. So let me show you this. Yeah. Okay. Also here you can see recommended next steps. Review the migration methodology checklist. Right. Explore the migration and the modernization center. Understand cloud adoption framework. These 3 steps. If you need individual steps, each stage, what are the steps we need to carry? Okay. So here you can see that. Okay. So under business strategy, identify your desired outcomes you can get aligned. Right. For this, if you click this option, they will give you some suggestions. Okay. So these things you can forward to your business team. They will take care of all these things. If they need any help, we can work with them. Okay. Same way, other steps also. Okay. Other steps also you can see. Even migration planning, planning stage,